chicken wings. Probably mostly, if not all ladies out there, what to do with those chicken wings. I'm going to show you some things you can do to help get rid of them. Orgasmicpathways.com. Orgasmicpathways.com. Choose your pathways. So for right now, let me show you a few things you can incorporate. Do these, I don't know, a couple times a week. Let them rest and recover. A couple times a week should suffice for a period of time. But anything basically that extends the elbow joint like this is flexion when you bring it in, so you're working the bicep this way. The opposite is extension. The primary mover of elbow extension is your triceps, and it's got 3 different heads. Tri, 3, bicep, bi, 2. So there's 3 different grips that you can toy with, and I will show you those. There's a neutral grip where your palms are facing each other and you extend, right? And then there's also supinated grip where your palms are turned up like this, and you can extend, hit a different head, the triceps. And then there's a pronated grip, your palms are down like this, and you extend the elbow, and you work the tricep in a different way. So you're getting all 3 heads. And note of caution, work your biceps just as hard as you work your triceps. Reason being, if you don't do that, you're going to open yourself up to almost assuredness that you're going to get injured at some point in your elbow joint, because there has to be a balance of tension around your elbow joint. Otherwise, it is vulnerable for injury. So ladies, typically they worry more about their triceps than their biceps because they get the chicken wing thing happening back here. So if you're working on your triceps super hard and you're building all kinds of long lean muscle back here against the elbow joint, but on the other side of the elbow joint, the bicep is getting weaker. There's an imbalance. There's tension has to be all around that joint to keep it stable and viable. So if there's too much tension on one side and not enough on the other, you just open yourself up to getting injured, a pretty nasty injury too, for that matter. All the joints work that way. The knee is another one. The knee is even more susceptible because of its instability problems by design. The knee is more susceptible to injuries. So like if you're going to work your hamstrings hard, work the quads just as hard, and vice versa. Otherwise, there's too much tension on one side of the joint and not the other, and you can get an injury. And the knee especially, it's just a hinge joint. It only operates in one plane of motion. So it's really important. All right, so that was your safety note right there. So the first thing I'm going to show you, we'll start easy and we'll get progressively more difficult. And you don't need any equipment. I'm in a normal house. Look, there's even a laundry hamper back there. Oh my God, there's doors and stuff around. You've got a normal house that you're probably living in, right? Apartment, whatever, doesn't matter. So find a wall, an open wall. Here's the first thing I will show you. Now this is pretty simple, but if this is your starting point, try this out. Just put your hands to the wall, come down, and extend. Remember, extension, that's the primary mover of the tricep muscles. Now, when you're doing that move, to focus on the triceps, your hands are going to be about shoulder width apart or closer, and your elbows are going to stay in, moving along the sides of your rib cage. So your elbows are not going to flare out like this, otherwise the focus is more on the chest. And, well, there's a lot of value in that too, so you can certainly toy with that. In days you want to work on your chest, maybe keep the elbows out and the grip wider. But for the triceps, elbows stay in, and your hands are about shoulder width or closer. Now, the closer that your feet are to the wall, the easier this is. So like this would be the easiest right here. And when you're doing this, notice my abs are scooped. My hips are doing this. They're not doing this. Otherwise, you're going to put all kinds of tension on your back, and you're going to hurt these muscles back here. More importantly, you're going to hurt your vertebrae, your bones, and you don't want to do that. That's going to cause problems. And for a lot of people that live more or less a sedentary lifestyle, this is going to be very weak. And when you're doing something like this, especially as you move your feet further away, it becomes more difficult. You're going to really open up that vulnerability here. That weakness is going to be exposed. And that's actually a good thing to expose that, because it lets you know that's something that needs to strengthen up. So respect that. If your triceps are really strong and you want to go further back, but your back is getting weak, it's sore, it hurts, and you're just not able to scoop your abs properly, and your back just your low back sort of collapses like that, even if your triceps are feeling good, come up anyway allow your lower back to get really strong before you develop your triceps anymore. That's your body's way of telling you that you are out of balance, you're out of symmetry, you're ripe for injury, you're completely vulnerable. So just respect that and don't fight it. Otherwise, you're going to get, almost everybody gets injured at some point when they're working out because they don't listen to their body. So, and it can be very difficult to want to listen to your body, especially if you know you want to work out your triceps and you want to get them all nice and toasty, but your lower back is sort of not cooperating because it's so weak, but you're trying to push past that lower back problem anyway. So you want to get your triceps a good workout. Just forget that. Give your low back enough time to build strength, and as it does, you'll be able to make this more intense and start building up your triceps more too. And now your body's going to be in the right proportions, the right symmetry, all that stuff, so that you're healthy. You got a well balance of fitness, and you're far less vulnerable for injury and much more viable in the real world. I hope that makes sense to you. If there's any takeaway from this video, that would be the most important thing. So as you get stronger, keeping your abs scooped and your shoulders, they're not sunken like this. They're not retracted, they're protracted. Especially when you come up, protract your shoulders completely. Don't come up like that, come up like that. Protract them completely. That's another area of injury here, is the shoulders. The shoulders is a link to all your upper body movements. And so if this is weak in here and you're not able to protract your shoulders, then you need to come up and make it easier until your low back is stronger, your shoulders, your serratus anterior, which are your muscles that line your rib cage, which is actually controlling the protraction part of your shoulders. All of that needs to be strong. If you have just one area of your body that's strong, like your triceps, and nothing else is strong, then man, you're just ripe for all kinds of nasty injuries, and obviously you don't want that. So those are a couple things to watch out for. The low back, make sure you can scoop your abs before you make this more difficult. And make sure that you can protract your shoulders, your shoulder blades all the way before you make it more difficult and bring your feet out further. So those criteria, checkpoints are being met. Then you can continue to make this more difficult. Back that camera up. And keep going down on this move. And once you get to a certain point, where it no longer feels safe, then move to, a tabletop. Tabletops are pretty high. And after that, and you're feeling good and strong, maybe you move to, look at all those guitars. See, it's a real house. Then maybe you move to a couch. So you're basically doing just like so. Heating those checkpoints, strong low back, pelvic is tilted, abs are scooped. I'm protracting my shoulder blades, especially on the up face, completely. And the lower that your hands go to the floor, the more difficult it is, until you build up enough strength. You got to regress to progress. I've done a video on that before. Check that out. Until you finally get to the floor in a perfect push-up. Now remember hand placement. You go at an angle here. The hand placement, your hands are going to be below your shoulders because we're working on the triceps. And you're going to keep your elbows in towards your rib cage as you go down and up. And if we were working on the chest, we would spread out our hands more like so, and our elbows would be out. But we're doing triceps right now, so it's going to be this. I'll show you. Here we go. So the spine is straight, the neck is straight, my head is not forward tilted like that. That's another thing. It's up, looking straight ahead. Abs are scooped, shoulders are completely protracted, heels shooting out towards the floor, going down, keeping elbows in towards the side, coming back up. And that's it. So work on that, regress, make sure all those checkpoints are being made with your low back, scooping your abs, protracting your shoulders, no forward head tilt, drawing your kneecaps up towards your hips, and shooting your heels down towards the floor. and just follow it, you know, the wall, moving your feet back, then to something high like a tabletop, countertop, a chair is going to be a bit lower, maybe a couch is going to be a bit lower, so you're all the way down to the floor. And if you can do that, then your whole body is going to be stronger, not just your triceps, but because of the hand placement, you're going to be focusing on developing those long, lean, muscular heads of your tricep, all three of them. Okay, now, if you have bands, so that's like the no equipment option. If you have a band, I mean, feel free. Anything, just get creative. Anything that extends the elbow. Hold it like this. Go out like so. Stand like this. And really squeeze, right? It's elbow extension, it's working. Another thing you can do is step on the bottom piece here. Bring your arm up. Overhead tricep extension. So you want to keep the elbow pointed high. Keep extending, and then of course do the other side like so. So those are a couple other things that you can do. You can also step on it, step on the band, hinge forward at your hips so you're not rounded like this, but back is straight, hinge forward, stick your butt out, your chest up, bring your elbow up, keep your elbow high, and extend. And don't let your elbow fall, but keep it up so that you're getting more extension, working the tricep more. And play with those grips. Remember, there's neutral grip with all of these exercises. Neutral grip, pronated grip, supinated grip, and you'll work out all heads of the tricep. And make sure you're also, you know, working your biceps too. It's a short head and the long head, so you can do your neutral grip to get one head of the biceps, and you can do the regular traditional standard grip or the supinated grip to get your bicep muscles. And there's all sorts of things like corkscrew curls and whatnot. And with health and fitness and wellness, there is no silver bullet. So this is an important part of getting rid of the chicken wings, but it's not the only thing. As far as getting rid of the fat that makes up the chicken wings of your tricep area, that's done in the kitchen. The long lean muscle that you develop, that's gonna manage your weight loss from fat, because the number one fuel source of long lean muscle is fat. So all this muscle that I have, you can see, it's constantly 24/7 in my sleep, in my wake. It is burning calories specifically from fat just to maintain itself. That's your basal metabolic rate, how much calories from fat that your body is burning, or how many calories your body is burning just from doing nothing, just from existing. That's your basal metabolic rate. And building long, lean muscle tissue is what raises your basal metabolic rate. It's your number one tool that you can develop inside of yourself just by developing long, lean muscle for managing weight loss from fat specifically. That's why long, lean muscle, one of the reasons why it's so important, and I consider it to be a fountain of youth concept. So we can look and feel younger as we get older, right? I'm 44, and I think I'm doing pretty youthful. I think so. People guess I'm in my 20s very regularly, which I absolutely love that. And by the way, I've got tons of free workouts. By now, it's February 3rd of 2022. I've got about 60 or so free workouts, complete workouts. You can just follow along. You don't need equipment, modifications built in. Just go to my website, orgasmicpathways.com. You'll see my YouTube area, and I believe there's also a link right on that jump page now to the workouts. You'll see that. Just choose your pathways. One of those pathways is the free workouts. So get on that. Then those will be completely structured workouts, and one of them actually is called chicken wings and biceps. So if you're interested in that, maybe let that one be the first workout that you do. I don't know, but there's a ton of other workouts that do arm work, tricep, all that stuff too. And I've also got, speaking of, you know, the kitchen, which is where the weight or the fat loss actually occurs, that's healthy recipes. So orgasmicpathways.com, choose your pathway, healthy recipes. I've got hundreds of them so far, and there's more coming, and there's more workouts coming too. So I've really got everything covered. All the little puzzle pieces, that's a funny word, puzzle pieces, the pieces of the puzzle that brings it all together and makes it work, because there are no silver bullets in this. It's everything combined, and it can really be simplified, especially if it's all out there for you to follow along. And as you're following along, you'll learn at the same time, and over time become more and more independent, and really knowing what you're doing and learning about yourself and how your body responds better to this or that, or doesn't respond so good to this or that, so you know to cut this or that out and do this or this where it's working. A lot of that is learning about yourself too, and what works for you, and you'll really hone in on that and make real progress. So it's far beyond just your chicken wings and getting this area all nice and strong and looking really great. It's about the whole being, man, the whole package. Everything relates to everything, and that is the basis of holistics and natural health. Well, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Drop a comment about the thing you learned in this video that you find most valuable. I gave a lot of nuggets away in this video, like I typically do. I over-deliver on value because I appreciate it when people do it for me. So I guess it's the golden rule I practice. Take care, everyone. Next video coming soon. And please feel free to share this video with others and subscribe to my YouTube. That really helps me out a ton, so I can keep doing all this stuff for free and still getting paid by YouTube, while I still get to give you all this content for free and never charge you anything for it. So please subscribe and interact with my videos, drop comments, and all of that is very helpful. Bye for now. Mwah.